At the Harvard Medical School in the Office for Diversity, Inclusion, and Community Partnership, I manage programs for students in K through 12 and college who are interested in careers in the biomedical sciences. I've been in my position since August of 2006. In that position, I help students or provide opportunities for young people to explore, to build awareness and knowledge about different careers. The research has shown that students in middle school, that's the age when many students are most receptive to change, they're most receptive to information about how to impact their future. So our office has worked very closely in the past 20 years or so with teachers in Boston and Cambridge to facilitate opportunities for students to explore at Harvard Medical School. No offense intended to any other university, but Harvard has a world-renowned reputation as being a premier institution of education. So we understand our responsibility to the surrounding communities. So in working with teachers in Cambridge and Boston, particularly middle school teachers, we found that in middle school, students are beginning to learn about the human body. And so our teachers, about a handful of teachers in our office, have created opportunities for students to have opportunities to come to Harvard that complement what they're doing in their middle school science curriculum. Two such examples are what we call explorations. It takes place in the fall, where we work with about 15 different middle school teachers in Boston and Cambridge to bring their students to Harvard Medical School, where we provide a panel of professionals representing different careers related to science. We have a keynote speaker who talks about science careers or STEM careers. Last year, or a couple of years ago, we had an African-American astronaut who came to talk to our students. After lunch, we provide breakfast and lunch for our students. After lunch, we send them out to Harvard-affiliated research sites where they participate in an elementary research experience. I say experience because it started out when we used the word experiment, and some students were quite disappointed because they were not participating in experiments where they solved or found a cure for cancer. So now we say experience. That's our fall component. The spring component is fabulous. It's a contest where we use STEM and we put the A in STEM, and we talk about STEAM careers, where we encourage students to use the arts to comment on a health disparity in their community. We ask students to create a contest entry in three categories, in one of three categories, perhaps written, performance, or visual arts. Once again, we're working with schools, we're working closely with teachers, and they have asked their students to use class time or time away from class to create extra credit contest entries where they're using their creative expression. Unfortunately, in places like Boston and Cambridge, because of budget cuts, young people don't have access to art training or art teachers in school, music training in school. And so these students are using out-of-school time and extra time in school to develop their artistic expression. Research has shown as well that students can succeed, or it enhances their success, if they can complement their academic work with some exposure to the arts. The president has an arts committee headed by the former dean of the Tisch School at NYU, where they go out into schools artistic or famous artists, dancers, artists, and performers go out into select schools and perform and help students to develop their own level of creativity. So this contest that we have called Reflection in Action Building Healthy Communities, otherwise known as RIA, has a day of celebration in June that has culminated in this contest where we have first, second, third place, as well as honorable mentions in the 3 different categories. We bring about 400 students to Harvard Medical School to celebrate healthy lifestyles. Students have had an opportunity to not only look at some of the health disparities in their communities and comment on what they see through the arts, but they come together to also look at solutions to some of these health disparities in their communities. When they come to Harvard in June, they come once again, we provide breakfast and lunch, but it's a day of celebrating healthy lifestyles with 3 different activities that each of the 400 students get a chance to experience. We have healthy, when we teach students about movement or exercise, instead of teaching exercises, we have a Zumba class where students are learning to dance, but they're also learning the value of exercise. We also have an opportunity where a chef will come in and teach students how to prepare a healthy snack. Many of our students aren't familiar with something like yogurt, or even, we don't do cottage cheese. But we do have yogurt with some fruit or granola. And so we're trying to expose students to variety, to teach them how to step outside of their comfort zone and try something different that is going to enhance their healthy living. The other activity that we have is a health bowl. And that's a Jeopardy-like game where students will answer science-related questions, and students are divided up into teams, and the winning team will get a prize. So that day of celebration is an opportunity for students to be exposed to information that will provide them with healthy information that's going to serve their body, their mind, their spirit, and their academics, their intellectual development as well. So at the end of the day, everybody comes back together in the auditorium, and all of the winners in the contest are acknowledged with a certificate, and every student who has participated by entering the contest and coming to celebrate the day of celebration at Harvard receives a certificate of participation. And in our neck of the woods, having a certificate from Harvard, having a day at Harvard is a really big deal, because many of our students who come to participate are from underrepresented groups and disadvantaged homes. They receive reduced rate or free food at school. So coming to a place like Harvard that makes them feel welcome, that empowers them in some way, is a really big deal. We send out an invitation. We recruit students by sending out invitations to all of the middle schools, the middle school principals and science teachers in Boston and Cambridge. Harvard College is in Cambridge, Massachusetts. The Harvard Medical School is across the river in Boston, Massachusetts. So the Harvard University system reaches out to students in Cambridge, where we have Harvard College, as well as students in Boston, where we have Harvard Medical School. So about 40 schools are invited, and it's first come, first serve. The venue holds about 400 people in the auditorium, so it's the first schools that respond to us. We invite a teacher and 25 in a classroom, which is about 25 to 30 students. And it's the first 400 people who get their permission slips. Of course, you can't come on campus unless you have signed parental permission slips, signed permission slips that say we're allowed to use their pictures and videos of the students. So that's how we get our students. We have students from the Horace Mann School for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. In Boston and Cambridge, there's a law that requires students to be mainstreamed. So we not only have students from the Horace Mann School from the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, but we have students who have been mainstreamed into our participating schools, students who are in wheelchairs, students who have developmental disabilities, and you know, the whole area that we are excited or we're trying to impact around diversity and inclusion. It's very important that we have these students, and it's fabulous to have them as a part of it. One year, the first year we had the Horace Mann School for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, it was really awesome because the person who signed for them taught the rest of the students. We had about 15 students from the Horace Mann School, and we had about 350 students from regular middle schools in Boston, and the signer taught the rest of the students how to clap using sign language. So you had about the whole auditorium of about 400 kids signing, clapping, and that was awesome. That was a perfect example of what our office tries to do around diversity and inclusion.